Another really important part to explore in your playing, whether it's in your own songs, whether it's when you're jamming with people, is really learning the power of sus chords and other things that we can do with the chords, but learning how to pick your fingers up and set them down. It's that simple. It's really, really important, because if you took something like this D chord here, for instance, there's a lot of different things we can do, but one of the easiest things to do to make this sound interesting is to simply make it into a sus chord by taking your middle finger off. We'd make what's called a C sus2. Or we could add the pinky on right here on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and we get that kind of sound. And there's lots of things that you can do with this. And again, what it's doing is it's enabling you to stay on the same chord for longer without always having to feel like you have to switch chords all the time, because you're creating these little melodies by using this, right? So for instance, an example would be something like this. If I went like this, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this A chord and switching from A to A sus2. Sus2 is always lower. And it doesn't matter what fingers you use for your A chord. And then you've got your D, and what I'm doing is adding my pinky on and making it a sus4. A sus4 always wants to go, it goes back. So a sus4 is higher, a sus2 is lower. Okay? So if you think about it, if I was doing D, this is D sus2, this is D sus4. If I was doing A, if I take this finger off, it's A sus2. If I was to put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, I get an A sus4. Okay? So, but again, without worrying about the theory so much, what we're most concerned with is trying to make some sounds with this. You know, there's just a lot of really neat things that you could come up with utilizing sus chords. Now, you don't have to go crazy and go, well, does every chord have a sus chord? Of course it does. But on the guitar, there's just certain chords that are easier to play, and they just sound better positionally, you know, using open chords and things like that. So you could certainly explore other chords, but find things that just happen naturally for you. So when you're playing guitar and all of a sudden this thing pops up, you're going to be able to grab any one of these ideas we've been talking about through this entire course and go, oh yeah, that's a perfect spot for this, or oh yeah, that's a perfect spot for this, or I should just leave this alone, right? Or whatever. It might be something as subtle as something like that, and it might be something like, you know, something like that. It just depends on what it is that you're doing within the context of your own song or a song that you're jamming to.